resigned, which means he stood out to do the job. So on that score, he did not succeed. Now, national service. When you are called to serve the country, what you are supposed to do is to go to every extent to defend and deliver your mandate. As far as we are concerned, this gentleman did not conduct himself properly enough to deserve any national recognition at this moment. He did not deliver.
Thank you. My colleagues. See, that's why he's speaking like that. Mr. President, very distinguished colleague, this is one issue I have tried as much as possible to avoid. Yesterday, when my brother, Senator Abaribe, brought this matter up, I took up and said, no, I will not allow this to happen. Because he's about to remind me a very sad memory. And I'm speaking not along party line or ethnic or whatsoever, as I've watched and listened to the contribution thus far. Mr. President, very distinguished colleague, as a result of the action and inaction of Professor Humphrey Nwosu, I lost my immediate junior brother. He died right behind me for him refusing to do or carry out his duty as INEC chairman. Mr. President, many of my colleagues have stood up here and said he conducted the free and fairest election. There are three different meanings and three different interpretations that we should look at: conducting election, releasing results, and announcing results. Yes, he conducted the election. Yes, school of thought said he releases all the results. But you and I know releasing results is not the same thing as announcing results. He failed at the critical moment when he's supposed to salvage this democracy. Today we celebrate Abiola, or those people who have contributed to the success story of June 12, because they laid their life, they put their life on the line. If he is coward to withdraw in doing what is right at the critical moment, I think my brothers here should be fair enough. We are not saying you should not bring his matter up. And as my colleague have said, everybody that we have put before us that should be honored, we have celebrated them here. And don't forget, this is the highest law-making body of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, where we should see ourselves as one and one Nigeria. Professor Humphrey Nwosu, with due respect to him, because it's now late, does not deserve to be immortalized as one of the very few Nigerians that have done the right thing. And I want to plead with my colleague. As I've said, I'm not speaking along the ethnicity line, along the party line, but I'm speaking as Nigeria. We witness the horrific moment.
Thank you. Once again,
of Professor Humphrey Nwosu to carry out his assignment at the most critical hour.
Thank you, now let's go to prayers. Prayer one. All the federal government to immortalize him by naming the INEC headquarters in Abuja after him. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. Nay. The nays have it. Further urges the federal government to posthumously honor him with national honors. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. Nay. The nays have it. Extend condolences to his family and recognize their sacrifice in support of his work towards a better Nigeria. Those in favor of this prayer, say aye. Those against say nay. Nay. The ayes have it. So, hello, sorry. Order! Order! Please, can somebody order? Can somebody move a motion so that we can have a bit silence in his honor and pray for you? Sri Oluwole Fasui.
Seconded.
A seconder.
Seconded.
Senator Samson Ekong.
My name is Ekong Samson. I represent Akwa Ibom South. I move to support the motion as ably moved that in view of his place in history, that this August Senate do observe a brief silence in memory of Professor Nwosu. I so move, most respectfully. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion, moved by Senator Cyril Oluwole Fasoyi from Ekiti State.
Are you getting it now? On this June 12th of a thing, are you getting the message now, or you still don't get it? The people responsible for the annulment of June 12 are heroes in the eyes of Tifnumbu and his fanboys, like that Yayi. Talking about his brother. My brother was killed in my presence. He has no brother. He had no brother to... No. But he had to say that in the Senate because nobody's going to fact check him and say, did his brother die during the June 12 protest? No. He had no brother that died during June 12. None. But he said it's emotional for him. It's such an emotional thing for me. You know, it didn't deserve it. So I don't understand. Like Babangida, just a few weeks ago, Babangida was given 17.9 billion naira. Yeah? And they were singing his praises of being a great leader. He's a leader that he did Nigeria. In fact, Nigeria, if not for you, Babangida, Nigeria will not be Kiniko. Here you get. And he used the occasion to tell everybody that, yes, I did it. I annulled the June 12 election. I take responsibility for it. And they gave him 17.9 billion naira to build a monument, to build a presidential library that is going to say Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida Presidential Library in his honor. Abacha has a stadium named after him in Kano. He has airports named after him in the north. They have streets named after him in the south. Abacha, the same Abacha. But Humphrey Nwosu, an Igbo man, is where they draw the line. You know, he should have fought more. He should have. Why didn't he do it? I'm not trying to be tribal. Not because I am tribal. I'm just saying that. How can he, an Igbo man, instead of him to you know? I mean, I feel bad. I'm so very sad. I'm very, very angry. Honestly speaking, Humphrey Nwosu, he didn't do well at all. But Babangida did well. Abacha did well. If Abacha was alive, Abacha would be like Abdusalami Abubakar. Babangida, Obasanjo, yeah, he's going to be like them to all of you, one of your leaders. But here is what Nwosu himself said, you know, in that same interview, by the way, on the same subject when he was alive.
They said, you are reporting, okay. We came out, sir. This is the decision of the commission. Allow us to conclude this election and announce the result. And that we will challenge that letter, court decision, which Commissioner of Police served on me, that we should stop announcing it. We will go to Federal Court of Appeal, Kaduna Division. So he said, okay, you people are on your own.
Babangida said that.
The decision of their. He said, well, you know, in all this I've mentioned them. So you went to court, not by the Attorney General of the Federation should have championed that position, but he did not. It was Director of Legal Services in NEC, Bello. He's still alive. No, Buhari Bello. I mentioned in my book, went to Kaduna Court of Appeal, filed the papers. We submitted all the results, including that of Taraba, showing that Abiola won the election. Abiola was represented by Eke Ajayi. Tofa was represented. The court held first sitting. Justice Achike mentioned it. Achike, late, may his soul rest in peace. For the chairman, he was ready to conclude. He ordered Abuja High Court to submit all matters relating to the election, all the results, and they were submitted to his court for accelerated hearing and decision for June 25th, 1993. Please. Now, this was done. Abiola was, he knew all that. And when you submit something to court, it becomes public document. Is it not? All the results were submitted to the court, appeal division, headed by Achike, showing that Abiola won. Abiola knew. Why did Nigerian press not pick it from? Now, when this was to be done June 25th, the military quickly dissolved my commission on June 23rd.
But one quick question.
Yes.
That there was a pronouncement you made that this election is inconclusive.
Because the result was no.
Which date was that?
I can't quite remember, but it may have been in the book. Okay. The date, the inconclusive that we were not allowed to announce it. It became a subject of court dispute, and all the results, as shown in this book, no other result, as shown in the court, submitted before June 20, before my commission was dissolved. All the election results were submitted. It became public document. And when my commission was dissolved on June 23, we were sacked.
Where did you go next?
What will I do when I'm no longer chairman?
Where did you go?
No, I was in Nigeria.
You went back to Enugu?
I went back to Enugu. I went, first when it was annulled,
Was there any time you were threatened physically, bodily harm?
No, I wasn't, to tell you the truth. Yeah. No person harmed me. Okay. But throughout Abacha's regime,
everybody was keeping a low profile.
Thank you. When June 12th is coming close, some police will
parading
around my yes.
Just to make sure that you don't make any pronouncement.
Yes. Because we were dissolved. Because if I had made a pronouncement, I was no longer chairman national. The commission was no longer the appointed Oya.
So you're saying.
So that was Humphrey Nwosu about 12 or so years ago when he did publish a book explaining what happened. And yeah, the charlatans who are now making mockery of your democracy today, those ones who are now abusing this same public office, this same power, right? Majority of them at the time, they were pretty much almost unknown. But when you look at them today and what they have done to your democracy, and to the point that people are now calling on the military to come back and chase these criminals away. So historically, it's so important that this first half of this broadcast was done, all right? Because what the rogues in Nigeria have succeeded in doing is that since they probably believe that majority are not really interested, in the political happenings, right? And the political players in their, in their country. So therefore, they go fill in the gap with, lies, manipulated their history, just to drive a certain narrative and what have you. So that's why this first part was very, very important on Mayegun's diary political. Let's go to that of Atifku. You know, Atiku just granted one bombastic interview, and you know, it was like a direct blow to the people concerned. I'm talking about when he spoke about Tifnumbu, and then he spoke about Akpabiole, right? Or Wirewike. It seems direct enough that I am going to take us through that. Good enough. We're just talking about the June 12th, right? In what will later become annulled election in 1993. Atiku Abubakar, very young at the time, he wasn't this old, I believe, you know, also contested to be the presidential candidate of the SDP in that 1993 convention, I believe. Was it Congress or convention? Anyway, so in this interview, Atiku reminisces on that good old days and his own relationship with MKO Abiola, because you know he had to step down for MKO Abiola, right, when they were going for the second round of balloting at that Jos convention. Let's start with that. Okay, here is the point, right? Just to kind of remind you that 1993, 2003, 2013, 2023, 2025, that is 32 years ago. You know, that Atiku had wanted to be your president in that contraption. So the farthest he could go was to become Obankwaro's vice, and that also didn't end well. Here you get 32 years ago. Listen to this.
I want you to maybe compare that a bit to the last elections, 2023. Shehu Musa Yar'Adua held your hand and MK Abiola's hand in the lead up to the primaries for the SDP presidential elections. And I wanted to ask, because you stepped down before the second round when Abiola and King were running against each other. Why did you step down? And there is the belief that you stepped down with the belief that you would be chosen as the vice presidential candidate, not Babagana Kingile, who ended up being chosen. At that point when you were not chosen as VP, why did you still go along with everything?
No, I think there have been some misinterpretation or misrepresentation of what actually happened, even though I had in the past addressed, circumstances surrounding that incident. And after the first ballot, I called the late Shehu Yar'Adua. He was in Kaduna because he was barred then from attending any political gathering. So I told him, I said, look, if you don't come to Jos, there is every likelihood that, Babagana Kingibe was going to be elected. And I know you didn't want it. So you better come to Jos, no matter how late. And he drove all the way from Kaduna to Jos. By the time he came to Jos, it was about 3-4 a.m. And he called for a meeting in Alhaji Ayakwande's house. I do not know what he discussed with the late MK Abiola. I didn't know. I was not privy to the meeting, and he did not tell me. But when we got to the meeting in Ambassador Kwande's house, all what he told me was that Turaki, I said, yes, sir. He said, step down for MK Abiola. I said, okay, sir. I've stepped down. So, not until, we came back to Kaduna, because after the second round and Abiola won, Abiola, late Shehu Yar'Adua, and myself were on the same flight. So Abiola dropped us in Kaduna and then proceeded to Lagos. It was in Kaduna that he was telling me this was what he agreed with Nkiwa Abiola. So then, of course, we waited for a long time. You know, it took time before Abiola announced his running mate. What I now came to understand was that Abiola was put